There are moments in life when the ordinary meets the extraordinary, when the divine breaks into our world, leaving us forever changed. One such moment in history was the Transfiguration of Jesus, a powerful revelation of his divine nature, a moment of both mystery and awe, and an inspiration that still speaks to us today. Stay with us as we journey through this pivotal event that reveals the glory of God, reminding us of the light that shines even in the darkest moments of life. Have you ever wondered what it means to truly witness God's glory? How would you feel if, just for a moment, the veil of heaven was lifted and you saw a glimpse of eternity? The Transfiguration gives us a taste of this divine encounter, one that can transform our own lives today. Let's explore this together. Matthew 17:1-2. And after 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John his brother, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. Jesus led 3 of his closest disciples, Peter, James, and John, on an ordinary journey to a mountaintop. But what they experienced there was anything but ordinary. Sometimes, God invites us to climb higher, to step away from the noise and distractions of life, so that He can reveal something deeper to us. In our own lives, we are often called to ascend, spiritually and emotionally. It's in those moments of solitude, away from the distractions of the world, that God speaks to us most profoundly. Are you ready to take that step up, to climb the mountain of faith? Luke 9:29. As he was praying, the appearance of his face changed, and his clothes became as bright as a flash of lightning. As Jesus prays, his appearance begins to change. The camera focuses on his face, glowing with a radiant light, then pans out to reveal his entire body illuminated. His clothes turn dazzlingly white, and the disciples shield their eyes, overwhelmed by the brilliance. On the mountain, something miraculous occurred. The disciples witnessed Jesus in his glorified form, his divinity shining through his humanity. It was a glimpse of the eternal, a moment that bridged heaven and earth. In the Transfiguration, Jesus revealed his true nature, fully God, fully man. Like the disciples, we are sometimes allowed to see glimpses of God's glory in our lives, moments of clarity, peace, or divine intervention. These are reminders that God is with us, even when life feels uncertain. Are you recognizing the moments where God's glory is shining through in your life? Matthew 17:3. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. Moses, the great lawgiver, and Elijah, the prophet who stood for righteousness, appeared beside Jesus. Their presence confirmed that Jesus was the fulfillment of both the law and the prophets. He wasn't just another teacher. He was the Messiah, the one to whom all of history pointed. In our lives, we often carry the weight of the past, our mistakes, failures, or even the traditions and laws we feel bound to. But Jesus shows us that He is the fulfillment of all that we seek. He offers us freedom, grace, and a path to a new life. Mark 9:5-6. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He did not know what to say. They were so frightened. Peter, overwhelmed and not fully understanding what he is witnessing, offers to build shelters for Jesus, Moses, and Elijah. His voice trembles with awe and fear. Peter's reaction is one many of us can relate to, wanting to preserve a sacred moment, to build something tangible to hold on to the experience. But God had something even greater in store. Sometimes, in our desire to control or contain the divine, we miss the bigger picture. Instead of building structures around our experiences, we are called to simply be present and open to what God is doing. Are you ready to let go and trust in God's greater plan for your life? Matthew 17:5. While he was still speaking, a bright cloud covered them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." In that moment, the voice of God the Father spoke, declaring his love and approval of Jesus, his Son. Listen to him, the Father commanded. This was not just an event for the disciples. It was a message for all of us. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Are you listening to Jesus in your life? In the noise of our daily struggles, it's easy to miss his voice. But God invites us to be still and listen. When we do, we find peace, direction, and the strength to move forward. Matthew 17-9. And as they were coming down the mountain, Jesus commanded them, "Tell no one the vision until the Son of Man is raised from the dead." The disciples walked down the mountain, still shaken but deeply changed. Jesus reminds them that his glory will be fully revealed through his death and resurrection. As they descended the mountain, the disciples carried with them a new understanding of who Jesus was. But Jesus knew the journey wasn't over. His ultimate mission, to die and rise again, would reveal the full extent of his love for the world. Just like the disciples, we experience mountaintop moments in our lives, but we must also come down and face the realities of life. It's in those everyday moments that our faith is tested, strengthened, and revealed. Are you ready to walk the path of faith, even when the way is unclear? The Transfiguration was a glimpse into the glory of Christ, a revelation that reminds us of his divine nature and his incredible love for us. Just as Peter, James, and John were invited to witness this moment, we too are invited to see and experience the glory of God in our own lives. The question is, will you open your heart to it? If this message touched your heart, if you've experienced those moments where God's presence feels undeniable, we invite you to reflect, pray, and share this with others. Don't let the light of this moment fade. Let it transform your life. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content, and remember, God's glory is always with you, even in the ordinary moments. Be sure to listen to his voice. Until next time, stay blessed and stay inspired.